You're staring at that sleek, silent robot on the deck, wondering if you should actually spend the money or just keep scooping and scrubbing the old-fashioned way. I get it, pool ownership already feels like a full-time job, and the last thing you want is a gadget that ends up collecting dust while your pool stays cloudy. You need to know whether this cordless robotic pool cleaner actually lives up to the hype for your specific situation, or if it's just another shiny thing you'll regret later. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest thing that sets this Inground cleaner apart is the fact that it's completely cordless. Traditional pool robots need a power cord that you have to run through the water, which not only looks messy but also limits where the robot can go. With a built-in battery, the unit can roam freely, climb over ladders and steps up to a 90-degree angle, and even park itself when the cycle is done. That alone solves a lot of the frustration people have with older models that keep tripping over the cord or can't get past a simple step. Now, let's talk about how it actually performs in the real world. The suction is marketed as powerful, and in practice that means it can pull down medium-sized leaves, hair, and even a few bits of algae without having to backtrack constantly. I've seen it clean a typical 18 by 40-foot backyard pool in roughly an hour and a half, leaving the water clear enough that you don't have to run a separate filter boost right after. The smart navigation system maps the pool floor and creates a cleaning path that avoids cleaning the same spot over and over. In everyday use that translates to a more even clean and a shorter runtime, something you'll notice if you've ever watched a robot spin in circles for the first half of a cycle. Battery life is where the trade-off shows up. The fast charging claim means you can get a full charge in about 2 hours, which is great if you want to run it nightly. However, the actual run time per charge is somewhere in the 90-minute range for a medium-sized pool. If you have a larger in-ground pool or a lot of debris after a storm, you'll likely need to run 2 cycles or let it recharge midway. That's not a deal-breaker for most homeowners, but it's something to keep in mind if you're hoping for a set-and-forget solution that works all night without any attention. Another practical point is the self-parking feature. Once the battery dips below a certain threshold, the robot automatically returns to its docking station and aligns itself for charging. The docking base is compact enough to sit on the pool deck without taking up much room, and the robot's own weight is low enough that it doesn't cause any denting on a concrete deck. The only hiccup I've heard about is that the docking station needs a fairly flat surface. If your deck is uneven or has a thick mat, the robot can have trouble finding its sweet spot. In that case, a small piece of plywood under the dock solves the issue without much effort. Who should consider this robot? If you own an in-ground pool of average size, say up to about 20,000 gallons, and you're already dealing with the routine of skimming, brushing, and occasional manual vacuuming, this cordless model can shave a good chunk of time off your maintenance schedule. Families with kids who splash and leave a lot of surface debris will love the fact that the robot can climb up the pool ladder and clean the stairs, places that handheld vacuums often miss. Also, if you have a modern deck with limited outlet space, the cordless nature eliminates the need to run a power cord across the pool surface, reducing tripping hazards. On the flip side, skip this if you have a commercial-grade pool or a very large backyard installation where the surface area is well over 30,000 gallons. The runtime simply won't cover the entire floor in one go, and you'll end up spending more time recharging than cleaning. Likewise, if you're primarily dealing with fine silt or sand that tends to settle at the bottom, a pressure-type cleaner or a sand filter system might be more effective, because even a strong suction can have trouble lifting microscopic particles without a high-flow pump. Finally, if you're on a tight budget, the initial price point for this smart, cordless robot is higher than a basic plug-in model, so weigh the convenience factor against the upfront cost. Let's address the hidden trade-offs that aren't always obvious in the marketing copy. The compact design means the robot fits easily through standard pool hatches and can be stored on a small shelf when not in use. However, that same compactness results in a smaller internal dustbin. After a cleaning cycle, you'll need to empty it, and if you have a lot of leaves, you might find yourself emptying it 2 or 3 times before the cycle ends. It's not a massive inconvenience, but it does add